discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Well, good afternoon, family. Hope you guys are doing amazing today. Hope you had a beautiful, restful weekend. And welcome to another episode of the Africa Today Show. My name is Joby. To those who are here for the first time on our YouTube channels, of course, returning listeners on the radio station, Spreaker, and Spotify. And of course, Karibuni Sana. We're going to be focusing on the war, the news and updates of what has been happening over the weekend, including the opening and closing of Strait of Hormuz that took place literally during the weekend. And we saw Iran responding with, due to Israel violating the ceasefire agreement, and America as well. They did close the Strait of Hormuz. So we're going to be looking at that. But before we get into that, we have some few updates. I want to share a video coming from the Netherlands, how so much has actually changed regarding, number one, the people who rule and control the country, but also some of the new laws they have introduced. As other countries are fighting these laws, Netherlands is pushing them. We're going to be talking and looking into what laws are those, and also where we have reports of 450,000 Americans now have meat allergy, and this is because of Bill Gates. So we're going to be looking at this. They're saying that there's a certain tick when it bites the meat, and if you consume the meat, you end up being allergic to it. So we're going to be looking at actually again, how Americans are eating bad meat. I shared a video of personally being in the butchery. I did share that to Keith. And as we're eating real meat, I don't think we've gotten to the fake meat yet. Much more coming from Iran and Israel. I'm going to be sharing much more of the videos, of course, of what is happening, what Trump had to say regarding Israel proving to be the greatest ally, and so much more as we continue with today's conversation. Feel free to hit that subscription button as we get started with today's conversation. I'm going to start with this first video right here of the Netherlands and what is happening.
This is an emergency SOS call from the Netherlands. All hope is lost. Please save us. I'm calling on the international community to do something about the extreme disease that is in charge of the Netherlands. Just tonight, our parliament discussed a new law that will allow 2 men to donate DNA material to create a joint embryo out of 2 men, meaning a child born of 2 men, and will also allow a single person to mate with themselves to produce a self-fertilized egg and then create a child with only one biological
Everything completely out of nature. Everything.
parent. This comes after the Netherlands legalized gay marriage, after we had the first gay prime minister, after we invented the Dutch protocol, which is an unscientific, unproven way of castrating a man and then giving him a fake vagina with tissue from out of his ass. I'm not kidding about that. We're allowing euthanasia of children from ages 12 and up, and 16 and 17-year-olds can have themselves euthanized without their parental consent. We are also allowing, under the Groningen protocol, the euthanasia of children up to 1 year old. So if you don't like your child, you can get rid of it after it's been born. Of course, we have abortion up to birth, right? We had the world's first pedophile party taking part in our elections. My God, I can't do this anymore. I wasn't born to grow up in this Sodom and Gomorrah of the world. I am of the opinion that this country needs to be vaporized. And I hereby call upon President Donald Trump, on President Putin of Russia and the Ayatollah of Iran to point your nuclear rockets at this country and blast it to shits. Away with this. This cannot heal without first bombing it to the ground. This is an emergency SOS call from the Netherlands.
Let me reshare it again. I'm trying to find if I can get videos of many people talking about this because it's super, this is super crazy, like super.
All hope is lost. Please save us. I'm calling on the international community to do something about the extreme disease that is in charge of the Netherlands. Just tonight, our parliament discussed a new law that will allow 2 men to donate DNA material to create a joint embryo out of 2 men, meaning a child born of 2 men, and will also allow a single person to mate with themselves to produce a self-fertilized egg and then create a child with only 1 biological parent. This comes after the Netherlands legalized gay marriage, after we had the first gay prime minister, after we invented the Dutch protocol, which is an unscientific, unproven way of castrating a man and then giving him a fake vagina with tissue from out of his ass. I'm not kidding about that. We're allowing euthanasia of children from ages 12 and up, and 16 and 17-year-olds can have themselves euthanized without their parental consent. We are also allowing, under the Groningen protocol, the euthanasia of children up to 1 year old. So if you don't like your child, you can get rid of it after it's been born. Of course, we have abortion up to birth, right? We had the world's first pedophile party taking part in our elections.
This is crazy. Pedophile party.
My God, I can't do this anymore.
This is super crazy. This is super crazy. That is in Netherlands. And I'm trying to look at this literally how this is some of the global agendas they're trying to push, especially with this LGBTQ bullshit, you know, pushing it into people's faces to accept a culture that is so out of nature. What do you mean? What the hell is this? These are the agendas they are pushing literally in many countries. But listen to this. It gets even worse and worse. In
Netherlands is about to pass a law that will allow people under age 16.
So this was in December 2025. So I'm not sure if it's already passed as we're talking right now in 2026, April.
Change their gender on their passport, and they can do so then without consulting a professional. They can do it on their own. What this really means, of course, is that parents of young children will win the power to decide what gender their child ought to be. You are handing power to narcissistic parents, borderline mothers, to decide on their own, on their child's behalf, what their child's gender ought to be. You're also handing power to teachers who might be abusive, who might steer children toward changing their gender. These are crimes against humanity, by the way.
I remember us discussing some of this. I can't remember which state in America, but they were trying to push this. Literally, I remember us discussing this, I think in 2023. They were trying to push this so hard. The same thing. If you don't allow your children to change their gender, you're gonna be arrested for it, or the child can be taken away from you, and all that. This is crazy. This is wow.
And to me, this is a signal that says we, the healthy people, which is the majority of the people, need to start thinking of cutting loose or walking out of the society. If we cannot violently overthrow the state, which is illegal, then perhaps we can walk out, turn our backs to it, and quit working for the society, quit paying into it, into the tax coffers, and decide for ourselves that we don't want to be a part of this extremely evil, twisted, sick society that is going to mangle an entire generation of children. I mean, I thought the whole trans cult crap ended last year, but they're sneakishly continuing it. Also, in other places like the UK or the USA, they're trying to pass laws to allow the administration of hormone blockers, which will permanently mangle your body, stunt your body's development without really changing or solving any kind of problem. that we are doing this to healthy children. Again, our Mengelean crimes against humanity, I'm referring to Dr. Joseph Mengele and his experiments. This is what you want to do to children. Then you ought to be in jail for life.
It's crazy. This is psychopathic. Karibu sana Kit, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing, Joby?
Okay.
Damn, that's a long ass pause.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of sickish. I don't know why, but I'm doing all right.
All right. Hopefully,
Yeah.
not that you're over that time, right? It's past.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling just sick. I don't know. I hope I'm okay. I hope I don't get sick. But Karibu, we're talking about Netherlands and how they've been They've been passing crazy laws when it comes to the LGBTQ community, to the point where they have even people who are now ruling some of the LGBTQ communities who are part of the government, and they're in control of some certain positions. So we're looking at even how they are now allowing anyone under the age of 16 how they can change their legal gender. And
If you
I
guys,
remember
don't,
us
if
discussing
you guys don't know, this is a way for this is all sponsored, as you guys know. Again, you know who's behind it. Cats with the motherfucking hats. So they were doing this over 100 years ago in Germany first to start with. This is to destabilize a society and break up its cohesiveness. To break up the cohesiveness of society, you implement all these crazy ass policies so that you don't focus on the J's that's doing it and the J's that's running you, that's over you. So you water down a society with all these different fucking unnormal things. So you won't focus on the individuals that actually put it into play and the individuals that actually ruling you. That's why they wanted to immigrate all these people in other countries to break down the identity of a country. While you flood these countries with all these different immigrants, if a country has no identity, it won't function. It weakens the country without having any identity. But you have all these people invading Europe, you know, all these Africans and Arabians and Indians invading Germany, France, England, is to change the demography of a country. So there's no cohesiveness anymore. So that makes the country no fight. If you don't know who you are, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting about? Your whole identity's been completely destroyed. And that's what they're doing. That's the implementation of this shit.
Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this is part of the agenda which they're pushing in majority of the countries.
Everywhere.
It's not Netherlands. You can see African countries, they're fighting against it.
Everywhere.
Some states in America, they're fighting against it. It's crazy.
Gender politics can expose what the real motivation for your laws is. The Netherlands, religion doesn't play any role in the laws that they create. Because of that, they can choose the lesser of two.
Remember, this is a cat with a hat right here, this big motherfucker here. So understand what you have in the media. They own, and you need to know this, they own all media, all of it. You need to know they own all of it. So they put their cat with the hat agents to dispute, to agree with it, and sometimes they might even agree against it because they need to try to balance out so you'll know. But this is an agent here. Sound shot. Everybody's starting to realize that all these media, Candace, the only people all on the payroll. That information got leaked. I don't think it's been leaked because I knew all they were all on the payroll. Alex Joneses, this motherfucker right here, they're all agents, but it's not real because the Rothschilds pay everybody on all the money. So you got a whole industry of internet. It's all lies. Because once again, they're being all paid. All right, go ahead, Joby.
Evils. And they're really struggling right now when it comes to woke shit and gender identity politics. They were the most progressive. Back in the day, there's this massive gay parade that the whole city comes out for, the whole town, everybody celebrates it. In their very literal mind, they're just going, well, yeah, if you're gay and you like someone else, that's not hurting anybody. There's no net negative on society. Like, let's make it legal. That's fine. And now they're grappling with 70 different genders and they're like, this doesn't make sense. So they've went from the most progressive to seemingly conservative conservative about certain issues, but they were never progressive. They were just mathematical. It was pure logic, and they didn't have a religious influence on the laws. I think they're having a little identity crisis because they're like, wait, I thought we were the most profound and advanced culture in Europe, and now we're getting looked at as bigots because we don't believe in 70 different genders?
Can you guess the first?
The Netherlands is one of the
small European country quietly makes history. The Netherlands.
I'm going to share this again for those who are joining.
This is an emergency SOS call from the Netherlands. All hope is lost. Please save us.
Pause it for a second. If you know who the Netherlands are the Dutch. These are the morons in South Africa, the racists. These are racists that controlled Indonesia, Indochina. These are your racists. Okay? They're so the people can hear the Netherlands. Who are the Netherlands? These are the Dutch. Okay? These are your racist ass Dutch people. Go ahead, Joe.
Calling on the international community to do something about the extreme disease that is in charge of the Netherlands. Just tonight, our parliament discussed a new law that will allow two men to donate DNA material to create a joint embryo out of two men, meaning a child born of two men.
So
and will also allow a single...
I also understand, see, as they tell you that, I've already told you, it's still legal in the Netherlands and Germany to marry your dog and fuck it. Okay? Bestiality is still with these things because I was trying to explain science this weekend with Demore. You know, it's still legal for them to marry the dogs and fuck them. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Why do you think they can marry a dog and fuck it? Just ask. Go ahead.
Person to mate with themselves to produce a self-fertilized egg and then create a child with only one biological parent. This comes after the Netherlands legalized gay marriage, after we had the first gay prime minister, after we invented the Dutch protocol, which is an unscientific, unproven way of castrating a man and then giving him a fake vagina.
This explains why South Africa is full of gayism actually now. I have the answers. I don't even need to be told. This explains why South Africa is full of these LGBTQ people, literally. I see the root.
With tissue from out of his ass. I'm not kidding about that. We're allowing euthanasia of children from ages 12 and up, and 16 and 17-year-olds can have themselves euthanized without their parental consent. We are also allowing, under the Groningen Protocol, the euthanasia of children up to 1 year old. So if you don't like your child, you can get rid of it after it's been born. Of course, we have abortion up to birth, right? We had the world's first pedophile party taking part in our elections. My God, I can't do this anymore. I wasn't born to grow up in this Sodom and Gomorrah of the world. I am of the opinion that this country needs to be vaporized. And I hereby call upon President Donald Trump, on President Putin of Russia, and the Ayatollah of Iran to point your nuclear rockets at this country and blast it to shits. Away with this. This cannot heal without first bombing it to the ground.
Yes,
small
Joe,
European country.
That's why it's in South Africa. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a clear answer. I don't even need to question why. Why is it? The answer is very straight on your goddamn face. Very damn face.
Quietly makes history. The Netherlands becomes the first nation on earth to legalize same-sex marriage. Not a proposal, not a vote still pending. Done. Law. Well, that's a stone cold fact. April 1st, 2001. Mm-hmm. Now, on April 1st, 2004, there was a tech company
it's now legal
out there that announced a new email service with 1 gigabyte of free storage. The internet laughed. No email company offered more than a few megabytes at the time. A gigabyte is absurd. This is obviously a joke. It's April 1st, after all. Must be a hoax. Well, that was a stone cold fact, and it was Gmail. For months, Google invitation codes to join Gmail were sold on eBay because people couldn't believe it was actually stone cold fact. Sometimes the truth is the most unbelievable thing on April 1st.
This is crazy. This is super crazy. But that is the first news of what is happening in Netherlands. It's not just Netherlands. So expect probably this soon in majority of your countries, states. I don't know, because this is an agenda I know for sure they have been pushing in majority of the countries. But apart from that, we have on this other end where when people are being distracted, still being distracted by Israel and Iran war, we have a new confirmation of 450,000 Americans now who have a meat allergy because of Bill Gates. The information says that 450,000 Americans now have alpha-gal syndrome because of Bill Gates funded tick, which infects people with a meat allergy. And first American just died last week. And they're saying that Bill Gates has invested his money into funding genetically engineered tick, which infect people with alpha-gal syndrome. And this is a condition that makes people severely allergic to meat. So, which also I've seen many videos of people talking about the type of meat you guys, of course, are eating. Apart from that, there's a video of that lady who recorded, shows somewhere there's a bunch of meat. And then someone commented, the guy who one among they were with there, he was like, this is human meat. Ain't no way this is like, this is all cows. Again, it goes back to something I've had Keith mentioning. America doesn't have many cows like that. So there's no way they can be storing meat in plenty. So goes back to a video I was sharing earlier, the patterns of people missing. But
450,000 Americans now have a life-threatening allergy to beef and dairy, all from a single tick bite, and the timing is very suspicious. Alpha-gal syndrome turns your immune system against red meat and dairy. It's a delayed allergic reaction to a sugar molecule found in red meat, beef, pork, lamb, sometimes dairy or animal-derived products. Symptoms include hives, itching, nausea, diarrhea, swelling, and in some cases anaphylaxis. One bite.
Probably one of the fake ticks they put out there with the mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
Shock just for eating a hamburger, and the cases are skyrocketing. These ticks are spreading faster than ever across America. Meanwhile, certain investors are pouring billions into lab-grown meat products. Coincidence? You decide. The same voices pushing synthetic meat solutions for climate change are the ones funding tick research in these new Lyme vaccines. Problem, reaction, solution. Hegelian dialect. They want you dependent on their processed alternatives. Real beef becomes dangerous, lab meat becomes safe, and your food freedom disappears overnight. You don't have to be a victim. Nature gave us powerful tools to repel these ticks. Cedarwood oil, eucalyptus, peppermint, lemongrass, they all create invisible barriers ticks will cross. And your yard becomes a fortress without toxic chemicals. Simple yard management can disrupt their breeding cycles. Keep your grass short, remove leaf litter.
Dr. Pepper too.
Put gravel barriers around playgrounds. Learn to identify the Lone Star tick's distinctive white spot. Knowledge becomes your first line of defense against this threat. They're trying to profit from our sickness, but now we're taking control by protecting our families naturally and preserving our food freedom. I'll see myself out.
Some 450,000 Americans have developed a red meat allergy caused by tick bites. It's as if the woke mind virus has manifested itself. Y'all Republicans better watch out for them ticks, man. You already can't drink a Bud Light, man. They're going to take your man card away if you can't even throw a steak on the grill. A third associate of Steve Bannon was sentenced to 63 months in prison for the We Build the Wall online fundraising fraud.
Yeah, so that is what is happening. And I found this video, which is actually giving a difference in, I don't know if there's a difference.
This is American chicken and this is European chicken. The American one is washed in chlorine because the conditions it was raised was so toxic, there was no other way to sell it. Put it in water, watch the color that comes off the American one. That is not water anymore, that is chlorine. In Europe, this is completely illegal. This is American salmon and this is European salmon. And the American farmers.
That's why I try to wash my chicken all the time. So I got the chicken. Guys, see, I told you I'm broke. I got to eat my drumsticks. Uh-oh, a lot of juice come up the damn thing. I got my drumsticks and my fries. Think I'm playing? Shit is expensive. But you non-donating ass niggas.
It's fed artificial dye just to make the flesh look pink.
Watch what happens when I press a white cloth against it. Look at that color coming off. You are eating colored industrial fish. Without that dye, it would be gray.
And here is what most people never think about. Every single one of these chemicals does not stay in your stomach.
These chemicals do not stay in your stomach. They spread into your blood and travel to your brain, your joints, and your gut. If you want my full morning detox recipe to help clear those toxins, comment recipe and I will send it over. Just make
Yeah. Yeah. So the AI, grandpa AI, is telling you if you need some detox from all this lab-grown meat, you'll find this post.
I just ordered me some food.
Uh-oh.
I just ordered me some food. I'm kind of losing my last brain cell in this car because I just want to know. I want to know how I've been sitting here eating this meat, and I noticed a row of teeth in my shit.
God damn.
And that ain't it. They got the top and bottom jaw in my shit.
Oh shit.
I just sat here and ate this food and bit into somebody's molar. And I'm saying somebody because I don't know if this is an animal or a motherfucking human in this bowl of meat. Am I a cannibal? What is going on? What's going on, honestly? A roll of teeth?
Yeah, so be careful with that chicken you're eating.
That's Joby too. Joby thinks she's slick. Joby eating jawbone. They try to push that shit in Africa too.
Well, hell no. I sent you the real video of our butchery. So that shit is real. They're not playing over here. It's crazy. We're not playing games like yo. I'm sorry. We like to see our meat. We like to see our meat being cut. I'm not going to pick some pieces of meat already chopped and packaged in a supermarket. I find that actually very. I find people who do that, they just want to be so white for me. You know, any black person in Africa going to buy packed meat.
Didn't do that. We used to go to a butcher. I remember when I was a kid, my parents going to the butcher. And I guess I ain't gonna butcher in years. Exactly. Go get your meat from a butcher, get your cuts. I'll take that piece. I'll take this piece, but
Yeah, it's giving too punk for me, and I wanna be punk. Actually, not even punk. You know, it's crazy. Just go to a butchery and get some meat. God damn it! You're not living in Europe or America. You're in goddamn Africa. But anyway,
we don't got no butchers nowhere in Africa. In America.
In Africa we do. For Americans, I'll understand, but Africa, no. Please go to the store, go to the butchery. It's crazy. But we have this video. Let me share this video as we get into the situation of what has been happening over the weekend with Iran opening and closing the Strait of Hormuz. Trump, crazy.
This guy's on Instagram. This guy's everywhere. This guy's this Instagram channel too.
Yep.
See a day, you are one of the people who is leading a move for a brave new world in the future. You may not be around. I may not be around. Maybe we're too old to see this, but maybe our children will see this, where countries like North Korea, Belarus, Iran, China, Russia, South Africa, Brazil, I could go on, where these countries become a formidable enough force to not defeat the West, but stand next to them as equals. Do you see that day coming? And is that part of what drives you?
Well, you sound like God. God willing, that time will come. I hope such a time arrives. Based on the current situation and circumstances, it's hard for me to believe that this time will come. But despite some foolishness and some impulsiveness...
Pause that. That's the Belarusian president. You guys don't know, I've told you guys know Belarus. Belarus means white Russians. So they're trying to say they are the original. You got Russia, because Russia went from Ukraine and Belarus and went back eastward. It started conquering Asian motherfuckers too. So you have Asians that call themselves Russians as well. So Belarus means white Russian. They are the original Russians, the original Rus. Them and the Ukrainians are the original Rus. Go ahead, Jim.
Did a lot for this. Trump showed the whole world that your United States of America is not all powerful.
Niet a superpower.
By its power, it is a superpower, but not a super force. Everyone has understood this, and America's main enemy is China.
Been exposed.
If the Americans couldn't handle Iran, as I've said long ago, then they should not mess with China. They will never be able to deal with that kind of power. The US leadership understood that they are a superpower, but not a superforce. This understanding gives hope that once the Americans realize this, they will have to consider not only China and Russia. Russia is such a vast territory that they won't achieve anything with missiles. The missiles will run out faster than the territory of Russia.
Pause it. So what he's saying is a lot of bullshit. Russia doesn't have a big population. So you guys don't know the Russians stole a lot of Chinese land 150 years ago. Russia just went in there. But China was weak. Remember, China was being carved by the Europeans and made Japan was looking at China was being colonized and people stealing their lands while you got Hong Kong, people sleeping in coffin houses and shit. So China was getting carved up. And so Russia, and see, that's why you guys got no real Russia. Think Russia's not your friend. Russia being weak, but everybody was carving up China. Russia went in and stole a whole bunch of Chinese land, just stole it. Right? Land about as big as Kenya and Nigeria together, just stole it. Chinese were too weak back then. Everybody was coming to China. English, French, Portuguese, Spanish, all the white people coming into Russia and coming to China and stealing shit. And so Russia didn't say, "Oh, I like to be the Chinese people friend." Russia came and stole the northern part of China, just stole that shit. And so what you have now, see what he's saying is bullshit. The Russians need to be worried about the Chinese because the Chinese said Chinese forgot that these motherfuckers stole half their land, half their country. That's always the thing, China ain't forgot that these motherfuckers just came in like the other Europeans did to Africa and just stole land. And so China now being strong enough now to take it back. China's been slowly, no one said it. No one says this. China's been slowly, quietly taking that motherfucking land back that the Russians stole. Okay? Do this for me, Joby. Type this. Let me get down. I want you to type this real quick. On TikTok.
Okay.
Say, what year did Russia steal land from China? About 150, 160 years ago. Just stole it.
Russia stole.
I remember Japan. When everybody's coming, Japan is looking at all this shit like, oh shit, white people are stealing everything. Remember, it's the same period of time when they started to come back to Japan finally. So yeah, time to give up the asshole niggas. Time for some of that booty to get taken. Japan like, only white people just invading everything now. That's where Japan's looking at all this shit happening. So we got to change. We got to industrialize. We got to become a power. We're going to be raped. Go ahead, Robert.
Of Chinese lands in 1860 and later on in 1896.
China
wants it back. This is a map.
1860, all that land, 1860, remember? The white people show up to Japan in 1855. So Japan is looking at all this shit, all this lands being taken by these white people. Go ahead, Robert.
Showing that highlighted area.
Japan,
here, this is
Japan right there. Japan's right there. That was Japan is my damn thing. Japan is right there. Think Japan don't know all this shit's been taken by white people and shit? I said, we better get our shit together. Go ahead.
China as Manchuria. The Russians seized Outer Manchuria quite some time ago. Take a look at this map of China in 1820 and you can see there is no Russia on this side of the border. That was once all China. And look over here at Japan. Look at this northern island right here. This is currently Russian territory, much to the Chinese dismay. In fact, China's already redrawn its map and it has claimed a little bit of Russian territory. And again, Russia's not very happy. China doesn't want the land back just because it was once theirs. It's also very resource rich. There's a great deal of agriculture that can be done. There's a lot of iron, other precious minerals, gold, and coal. There is an article published by Alexander Etkind in Noella magazine that goes into great detail about how Russia is leaving a door open for China to reclaim these territories. Russia has had these 400,000 square miles of Chinese land for over a century, and they have barely done any development with it. That is not what China would do. Look at this chart comparing China's economic growth versus Russia's since 1990. As you can see, China has maintained explosive growth, while Russia, not so much. They make a lot of mistakes. They don't really know what to do with the resources at their disposal. Not only is China's economy growing, but their military spending has exponentiated over the past few years. There are some estimates.
And the military, they're going to go take it. They're going to go back and take this shit. So out there, you're going to have Russia and China as buddies. No. You think Chinese don't know, like you're saying, like this white man, think China don't know they stole half their country? Of course they do. They weren't strong enough back then to do nothing about it. Unlike the African who said, well, everybody's our buddy. China said, fuck that. We'll go back and take what you stole. So quietly, people don't know. China's been moving in those areas. Russia can't defend it. Russia don't got no people. That's why they going to steal Africans to go fight for them. Russia doesn't have enough people to stop China. And they're not powerful enough to stop no fuck. China's now an industrial power. And it's got the numbers, the people. So Russia can't do shit about China coming. And China's slowly been, it's been quiet, been in no news. China's been quietly going back across that border and say, yeah, this our shit. If you want to fight, you fight. But Russia's been keeping their fucking mouth shut. Russia know they can't fight no China. Get wiped out. So they just been keeping their mouth shut and China goes back in and gets the land. You heard of nowhere? China's been going back up in them, back up in the, they call it Russia. They ain't Russia. It's Chinese land that was stolen. Millions of acres stolen from China back in 1860. So don't think the Russians, everybody, Russians never colonized nobody. Russia was too weak to come to Africa. They wasn't strong enough power to fight the British, the French, and the Germans then. They still were trying to colonize. That's why they went and just stole all Chinese land. Remember, China's being, imagine you're a woman, you're being raped by all these different men. That was China being raped by the British, the French, the Portuguese, shit. Then the Russians just say, oh, let's help the poor widow, the poor woman, China. Goddamn Russians say, I want some of that butthole too. Let me go get it. So don't think the Russians, everybody would say that thing, the Russians didn't colonize anybody. They colonized what they could that were closer to them. You have the money to go all the way down to fucking Africa. They want a military power. So they could go to their neighbors, China, and steal their country. And that's what they did. China's like, okay, cool. So China was weak, 100 years. Now China's strong enough to say, okay. And like, you think Joe is going to just like the Israelis inside the Palestinian homes, just stealing their homes, shit, right? You think I'm like, Joe would come in and hit me in the head, steal my home. She's been up there eating good. And I'm like, okay, no, my kids and grandkids been here. Well, yeah. But now I got strong enough. I'm come back, knock on Joby's door. Oh, Keith, yeah, it's time. You gonna give up? You gonna give it the property nicely? Or I gotta bust you upside your motherfucking head? Shit you stole from. But it's your choice. So that's how power moves, guys. Russia just went and stole that land. So don't talk about that. Russia never colonized nobody. You don't know history. Shut up. Go ahead, Joe.
$100 billion per year, almost as much as the Americans spend. While Russia's economy and military have not been this weak in over 30 years, it is leaving them open to China being able to take back these lands gently or not so gently. And since 1991, Russia has been giving back land that they once stole from China. President of China, in their most recent meeting with Russia, I'm quoting this from the article, says, right now, there are changes, the likes of which we haven't seen for 100 years. The Chinese have already been migrating to that area, legally or illegally, quoting from the article, but it says no one knows the exact numbers, but the Russian government has been vocally worried about this migration. So what if all this hubbub over the little island that everyone's currently talking about is a bit of a smokescreen? Maybe China is building up its military, not for something like this, because it is so heavily guarded. What if this buildup isn't for war? What if it's for just ensuring that China gets to reestablish its territorial integrity? Russia is not in a position to tell them no.
Do nothing.
Russia took land from China, and China wants it back, and it's getting it. Not in the way you think. So here's what happened. Russia took large areas of China during the Qing dynasty, in the time of unequal treaties. China has never recognized that as legitimate, and it wants it back, and it's getting it in the Chinese way. And it's quite different from how the Western mind works, a completely different cultural perspective. So here's what's happening. 2023, official Chinese government maps relabeled Russian cities in Siberia with their historic Chinese names. This is key because it gets Chinese citizens thinking of these areas more as Chinese and less as Russian. This is a classic long-term orientation cultural perspective. Next, Russia is now dependent on China for a large part of its economy, and it is a one-way relationship. So because of this, China pressured Russia into granting visa-free entry to Chinese citizens, specifically in Siberia and the Far East, the very areas Russia took. On the Russian side, these regions are nearly empty, but in northeastern China, there are over 100 million people. So Chinese citizens now see these areas as Chinese from the relabeled maps. Now they can freely cross the border Russia. But why cross the border? Well, first, there's more unoccupied land, but there's also resources that China needs in those areas. So the government has an incentive beyond just reclaiming territory. What does this all come to? These areas will become Chinese again as more and more Chinese move there and view these areas as China. Russia won't have to cede any land, no wars will be fought, but China will have control of its historic territory in all but name. There's much more about cultural perspectives on Substack at culturalperspective.com.
Because Russia can't fight China.
Russia stole
They can't fight them. They gotta let the people. That's what you do. You got power. Unlike the African, got these white people still living in South Africa. Fuck all that. Where I'm going to be, I'm going to dominate. I'm going to own it. So, trying to go back and still taking the shit that was theirs. So, Russia wasn't nobody's friend. They seen China was weak. Like he's saying, China was being assaulted by everybody. And the Japanese looking at this like, God damn, everybody's stealing fucking China. Everybody's like, oh shit, right? So everybody's coming in. You know, that's why I got my jokes about Hong Kong. Hong Kong was stolen by the British. A lot of motherfuckers living in coffins. Coffin out. So the British had to give up Hong Kong right when Joby was born. I think it was 98. I think the British were forced to give up Hong Kong after having it 100 years. And then the Portuguese had to give up Macau, I think around the same time or the next year later. Remember everybody was like gambling in Macau, which was illegal in the communist country. But Macau was controlled by the Portuguese who stole that shit. You know, all of China was just stolen. What was just stealing all kinds of shit.
So let me share this one.
Russia completes its occupation of Manchuria with over 100,000 troops on November 9th of 1900. The Russian invasion of Manchuria occurred in the aftermath of the First Sino-Japanese War, which saw Qing China be defeated by the Empire of Japan and had allowed for Russia's territorial expansion to reach Manchuria. Russia had used the Boxer Rebellion as a part of its plan, using the pretext of protecting the railroad from the Boxer rebels as justification for their troops to enter the territory. Russia would maintain some level of...
You guys on the Boxer Rebellion, those were the Chinese fighting against the invasion of all the other European countries that were coming and stealing land. Against the British, against all these white people who always come steal your shit. So the Boxer Rebellion was the Chinese fighting against the British, the French, the Portuguese, the Spanish, the Germans. And so I guess Russia figured out, we stole this other land, let's go steal more land in China. See, I never knew that the Russians went all the way down to Manchuria. They stole the other land. They try to steal the majority of all of China. So when you tell Russia is your buddy, that's bullshit. So Russia's even coming deeper into China. If you guys remember, Japan, as it becomes a might, comes and kicks the Russians out and takes over that part of China. Takes over Manchuria during World War II. Takes it all over. Go ahead, Joe.
Controlled throughout the course of the next couple of years until the Russo-Japanese War erupted in 1904 and would eventually see a Japanese victory. U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt would receive a Nobel Peace Prize after negotiating the Treaty of Portsmouth that would officially end the conflict between Russia and Japan, though negative sentiments persisted until the end of the Second World War. And if you want to know more, follow below so you don't miss out.
Okay, so quickly we'll move away from that. So we've learned a little bit of a history from that guy, and he should know facts. We also have here what Trump was saying during the weekend about destroying the whole of Iran if they don't sign the peace agreement. The new peace
Trump for about 20 minutes, and he told me if Iran does not sign this deal, the whole country is getting blown up.
Pause it. See, now, what this is white people delusional, trying to project power that they don't have anymore. This America find out that's not as powerful as what this is the signs of a declining empire. Because remember them, they're savages. So me trying to dictate savagery to you, you're gonna do it, I'm gonna blow your fucking ass up. So that's what white people been able to do forever. You don't do what I tell you to do, put a bullet in your head. Do what you're gonna do. You know, I need your asshole, you open it up. So this is now them still trying to say that they got the power. They don't understand they don't have the same kind of power anymore because other countries finally have started to level up to defend themselves against the savages, right? And so like I'm saying, I think this is all the rules, right? Because what they want to do in 2030. And shout out to I read an article with I don't know if I believe it or not. You know what you talking about? I've been keep hearing all the time that Putin has called out the Rothschilds. You know, Putin has now kicked the I think kicked the Rothschilds out 20 years ago. How are they still there? So I think this is trying to cut down the energy supply, right? Start a Mad Max situation where they can, but half the people die off because remember they set up a one global system, the globalists, as what's his name? Alex Jones called him the globalist, right? Set up a system of global power. And since they know their system is actually dying, right? The European system, these countries are inviable no more. So I think they're trying to make this happen where they plunge the Arab world. Remember, they gave the Arabs this oil. Arabs were morons. Remember? So I think they want to blow up the Arab region, put these goopy fake white Arabs back into poverty again, right? Throw their ass into poverty, blow all that shit up around there because they go into poverty, and that place called the Levant is non-livable anymore because no water, there's no nothing, no food, it's just a desert. And I think they want to do this because I'm thinking about, remember 2030, Project 2030 is to make sure they lock down most of the world, control all the energy, and unalive most of the people. So how do you do that? With famine. If I've got everybody hooked to their fake fertilizers gonna be bomb. Half the oil, the goopy Africans ain't never built the shit right in Africa, who's got much more oil in Africa than you got in the Middle East, but these moronic Africans ain't built no infrastructure. So that ain't gonna work. So what I do? I'm imploding the world to come out on top. I'm imploding because this war don't make sense. This war don't make sense. If I'm a general like they told, why do we do this? Don't make no sense. Don't do it. This war don't make sense. Because we know all the vital things that's made through oil, right? Not just that, your cans, your fucking plastics, this plastic bottle I use to clean up shit, this all oil. Everything's based on oil. Everything's an oil economy globally. Everything's based on fucking oil. Medications. So many people don't get their medication because they don't got that oil, which is bad for them anyway, right? They all gonna die because they can't get the medications. America don't make the medications. They made somewhere else in China. China gets the oil well from there. That's what China gets most of its oil, refined oil from, the Middle East. So people gonna be dying. You got medical shortages for medicine because y'all be eating the wrong shit, right? You got medicine, plastics, all this stuff is based in oil. Like Joby showed you, 60,000 products come from oil. So, and everybody's now using, you look at all the, damn, I got to start doing the shows on the weekend. That's what I get out. I start about the weekends, I can explain shit, right? It's my fault. So understand that everybody's saying what I've been saying. Mad Max. Everybody knows about Mad Max. It's about Australia. Isn't it funny? Australia is where Mad Max was first filmed at, right? Australia is almost in the Mad Max territory for real. He said, how can this be a coincidence? Because they planned this shit years. They always put things out 50, 60, 70 years prior. Because as Joby showed you, and Joby showed you again, in Australia what's going on, they got no refineries. They're running out of oil. They're going to be Mad Max for real. And the rest of us. So when you hear Trump says all kind of stupid shit, oh, we don't need their oil. We don't make their oil. Oil is sold, guys. You guys are on a global market. So what he says is absolutely stupid. Our oil is actually given out to more places to make diesel. It's a global market. That's why I call it the globalist. That's why you look on the stock market, right? You invest in oil futures. That's global. Has nothing to do with these morons believe because now ships are coming to America. That's going, oh, these dumbass mega morons who don't know how systems work, who don't understand how economies are built. You live in a global system. That's why it's called globalization, dummy. Okay? This is for you mega morons. You live in a global system. So America is selling our most of the oil because our oil companies are being subsidized by us. So who owns most of the oil companies? All the cats with the hats. So everything is done to benefit them, to make them wealthier. Industrial military complex, giving all this money to the military for these fake ass weapons blown up. Who owns those things? Oh, the cats with the hats. No money for the regular people no more. So if you think your gas prices are going to go down at the pump, you're insane. Yeah, America makes more gas than any other country, but we sell it into a global market. And so oil is sold at the global price, morons. So Trump saying, oh yeah, we don't use this straight. We got our own oil. We come to get on. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Oil is sold in a global market, not a national market, global. So it's not going to benefit you. It's going to actually hurt you because they know y'all. They made everybody so fucking stupid in these countries. Everything's a global market now. Go, Joe. What you about to play?
This video.
I just spoke with President Trump for about 20 minutes, and he told me if Iran does not sign this deal, the whole country is getting blown up. He went on to say that bridges and power plants will be targeted.
Let's just confirm that again in just a few hours ago again.
If Iran does not sign this agreement, the president telling me that U.S. Special Envoys Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are heading to Islamabad, Pakistan for meetings on Tuesday, possibly into Wednesday, to try and get this agreement across the finish line. The president telling Fox News this is a very simple deal, but this is the last chance for the Iranians. The president very clear in our conversation that he is not making the same mistake that President Obama made, giving cash to the Iranians and allowing them to continue a nuclear program. The deal on the table is to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to ensure that the Iranians do not have this highly enriched uranium that is buried.
Pause it. See what the IMF is trying to do, they realize that Africa then coding good for him. If the Africans weren't stupid and puppets, they would control the market. So this time IMF trying to make sure the African doesn't. See, Africans were always scheduled to be on the bottom and impoverished. That's the main thing. That's the main thing that always must happen. All times. Keep these niggas impoverished. That's always the scam of everything. Right? So then Cody bringing this refinery, and the IMF said, so he's the only game in town. So he's going to become multi-millionaire, and he'll make Africa. He said, okay, we got to start building. Angola's an oil giant. Nigeria's an oil giant. Equatorial Guinea's an oil giant. They don't refine shit. So if they start building refineries, everything's going to switch from the Middle East. We showed everybody all that money with the Middle East morons. It'll ship to Africa. So the IMF is trying to make sure we stop that. These niggas are supposed to be at the bottom, always. That's why we set up the world. So what happened was they fucked up. They're losing so much power. They don't think they're now stupid, right? They forgot about Dan Cody and his refinery, right? So now he can just sell all that refined gas, or they call petrol, any price. So that's why they're trying to stop his ass, right? They're trying to stop the Africans from having money and actually climbing out from being the fucking bottom. Because he built it. It's there. But these other morons ain't built shit. The other goofy African morons ain't built no refinery. Only one I know is building one right now is, I think it's even Torrey up in the Sahel. Like why these morons who extract gas, oil? Oh, that's right. They don't control none of their oil. The white man does. White man can't say, "Well, your oil, we're gonna control it." All right, and only African. All right, white daddy. Okay, white daddy, you take all my shit. Take all my region. You become rich. Give me my little money, and look at my people all poor and fucked up. Yeah, it's like, only African does that. So then Cody didn't listen to that. He built his own refinery. It's common sense. You build that shit. Remember, they always tell Nigeria to make sure he couldn't sell it, right? You better refine your own goofy government is against you because they're sponsored by white people. And so now, Dan Cody becomes the only game in town. It's about make sure you got competition. There's no competition. You make sure black people don't have no refineries. Dan Cody's the only competition in town. He's the only competition in town. And they know, they're like, oh shit. Damn, like these niggas, oh shit, these niggas supposed to be on the bottom. Man, what the fuck is the IMF got to do come telling you what to do with your fucking petro and the World Bank? You see the scams laid out right in front of your face. That you niggas, we designed you to be impoverished. That's where we plan to keep you dumb niggas. Right? And they even come out and say that. You think they would say, Dan Cody's open, let's go get his oil, let's spread around Africa so we can let everybody don't fall. No, they were about Africans becoming rich off their own shit. They're not worried. See, ain't funny? They're not worried about no Africans not going into damn poverty and the lights getting turned off, people getting back to work. They said, no, you niggas ain't supposed to make money from your own shit. That's the only thing they get a black people. It's like the way they treat black people, it's just like it's on another. You think black people like when do black people ever have enough? It says wartime. The disrespect is just, it's palpable. It's always it's in your face. What are you talking about? See, but they let all these goofy Arab motherfuckers make money. They all backward and stupid, fucked up countries. Now they all wealthy and they kings or whatever they are, sheikhs and all that goofy shit. But the African, no. Africans are supposed to be digging in the mines and shit with them shovels, making $1. Somebody else supposed to own it. So you better believe they're pressing Dan Cody to make sure he don't own it. Hey, you need to sell it to a white person, Dan Cody. We need to own it. Own it for what? That's mine. I built it. Yeah, but if you don't give it to us, we're gonna probably put a bullet in your head. Okay? Sell out to somebody white. But go ahead, Joe. Let it go.
Deep underground after Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. And again, the president telling Fox News that the entire country will be blown up. Bridges and power plants will be targeted if the Iranians do not sign this agreement.
Now, you see how crazy that sounds? Now, I'm telling you, I think they want, you know what did Iran say? If you bomb our utilities, the Middle East will cease to exist, right? Remember, that's all the oil. So all the kingdoms go. They said we're going to blow up the EUA, will cease to exist. Saudi Arabia will cease. They talking about as a country because they can do it, right? As a country, because I'm going to destroy your desalinization, your food, your oil. The oil's how they make money. Oil's going to be blown up. It'll take 30 years to rebuild that shit. So for all practical purposes, you're done. So we're going to blow up Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, all that bullshit, right? Qatar, whatever you call that shit, and Bahrain. So why would you do this and talk this crazy shit that Trump is talking, because that whole region, remember, the whole region goes, Africa depends on Africa ain't built shit. Remember, these moronic niggas ain't built nothing. These goopy tribal niggas ain't built nothing. Africa goes into complete poverty, complete darkness, starvation. They ain't did what Joe told them to do, make fertilizers. They got all the land, but they import everything. Africa imports everything, sadly. So mostly from the Middle East. Most of mostly Kenyan oil comes from the UAE. Well, so what does Kenya do? What does Kenya do once the UAE doesn't exist? I mean, literally doesn't exist anymore. Because I read that most of Kenya's fertilizers, it came from Russia and Ukraine, but also the UAE. All the oil products come from the UAE. So that's why Ruto was all putting that rebel Sudanese group. Let's put this rebel Sudanese group in the Kenya, because Kenya gets all this fucking energy from the fucking UAE. Now UAE ceased to exist. Boom, 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 boom. Blown to bits. What does Kenya do? Kenya ain't built shit. And all the other people that's coming up, Tanzania, Uganda, these morons ain't built a fucking thing. So you're talking about going to complete darkness and in not poverty, fucking starvation. They don't got any oil to get around. The oil is gone. They ain't built the refineries in no Kenya. So ain't no ships bringing them oil. Where's the oil coming from? Joey can look. Put us up, Joey. Say, where does Kenya get most of its oil products from? UAE. So if Iran blows that shit up, which it says they're going to do, what's going to happen to all these goofy East African countries ain't developed shit?
From the Middle East, with major supplies including the United Arabs, that is the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Oman.
So there you go. So with Iran said we're going to blow all, when they said blow them up, remember these countries are not going to exist. See Trump talking all that crazy, we're going to blow them up, we're going to blow Kingdom Come, your bridge. Iran said we're going to blow up the Middle East. And we know they have the technology to do it. This is not hyperbole, these are facts. Oman, these countries will cease to exist as countries. All the desalinization will be blown up and the oil fields will be blown up. So Kenya bringing all that shit, should go to Uganda. So it's going to cause revolution in Africa. It might need to happen because the dictators won't be able to last, right? Because Kenya's going to be plunged into darkness. Uganda, darkness. Tanzania, darkness, right? Got no oil, can't transport their people. Instant revolutions. Instant killing the motherfuckers that have been running the world. I've been running the damn, the puppets are gone instantly. Because your people are going to rise up. There's nothing to stop. You ain't got no gas to get around, no cars to stop them. You can't even fill up your vehicles. So that ain't going to work. Instant revolution, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Ethiopia, uprisings, right? Then uprisings, it'll take them years for them to finally say, okay, we got the countries. Now we're going to goddamn depend on ourselves and start building our resources for ourselves. That's going to take years. So you're talking about Africa being Mad Max for real. Over here too. Now, do this for me, Joe, real quick. Type in. I hate to type it on that fucking Instagram, but go ahead, you on that. Type in, say, fuel shortages at an all-time high in Australia. See, this is the reason why Africa should being, like Joe said, not being really independent, not understanding the world and how things can happen. But you puppets have destroyed yourself because if Iran blows up, this is going to stop that 2030 shit in Africa because Africa's going to be let me say something. Africa's going to be an all-time revolution. See, they ain't understand. These motherfuckers tried to organize and monitor a world collapse. Now understand there's always going to be black swans that you can't account for, right? So they try to 23rd lock down the world, but they won't because they understand their puppets in Africa have done so much heinous shit, so much tribal bullshit, so much stealing of money and keeping Africans impoverished that they're hated. See, that's the wild card. When Africa's not able to get fuel and plunged in the darkness, got uprisings. All that 2030 shit goes out the window because you're trying to survive. And your puppets will not survive. So this might be the reason why it's going to happen anyway. Your puppets will not survive. Africa's going to be in turmoil. Type in, say Australia. Australia is in critical condition because of fuel, because lack of fuel.
This just
there you go.
This just changed, and it matters.
Damn.
Fuel shortages across Australia.
It's bad in Australia, bad. You're talking about starvation coming to Australia.
This just changed, and it matters. Fuel shortages across Australia are not just continuing. The situation is now
dire. Might need to go one of my other videos. Whoever does that, they use the video.
My internet is really tripping.
This just changed, and it matters. Fuel shortages across Australia are not just continuing. The situation is now shifting. In New South Wales alone, over 180 fuel stations have already run out, mainly diesel. Prices have already surged. Petrol above $2.50 per litre. Diesel above $3 per litre. But here's what's new. Officials are now warning that supply risks may continue into May and June. And that's the key concern, because Australia relies heavily on imported fuel. Most of it passes through global routes like the Strait of Hormuz,
Of course.
one of the most critical oil supply routes in the world. Any disruption there affects supply here.
Pause it.
Now, more.
Now, if Trump bombs Iran shit, Iran said they're going to bomb all that. What happens to Australia? What happens to Australia? All that shit they got comes in from there. What happens to that country? It ceased to exist. They're going to straight Mad Max shit. Thunderdome. Go ahead, Joe.
Fuel is coming. Over 50 fuel ships are currently heading toward Australia, but supply is not fully stabilised yet. That's why the government has already cut fuel excise, released reserves, and introduced support measures. And the impact is already being felt. Travel is being reduced. Transport costs are rising, and everyday goods are becoming more expensive. Right now, this is still developing. And the key question is no longer just shortage. It's how long this lasts. Because depending on global conditions, supply could stabilize or tighten further.
It's called the globalization. It's global conditions. Because oil is not sold as regional, and Australia has no oil. Okay? So global conditions for Australia is bad because they don't make no damn oil. They don't have no oil in Australia. And they only have like one refinery, I think, there. Because they had to close them down for all that fake climate change bullshit. all that goofy climate change shit. They running around Africa talking that climate bullshit. Right? Shout out to Ibn Torre, who took back all that land and they talking about it was the same thing they did in Kenya with that climate shit. He said, nah, not no more. This land's going back to the people. We're taking it back. Taking that land back. Go ahead, Joe.
Told you that the real impact of the Middle East oil crisis hasn't even hit us yet. How would you react if I said the chaos of rising oil prices is not the real crisis we should be worried about? I know right now it feels overwhelming. Every hour something changes. Is there a ceasefire or not? Is the Strait of Hormuz open or closed? 1 minute it opens, the next minute it shuts again. Nobody.
I'm saying, why would you do this? You've already known just by war gaming that this was going to happen. You already know this is going to happen. So why would you do that? That's why this is on purpose. No way. I know Trump is a moron, but the people that run his ass are not morons. That makes me believe this has got to be on purpose because this doesn't make any sense. Because you already knew what was the outcome of you doing this. You already knew what was going to happen of you doing this. So you were willing to roll the dice and see what happens as you try to bring down the world's economy and you be the one surviving. But you can't control black swan events. Like I told you, Africa's a wild card. You motherfuckers didn't develop Africa, you idiots. So you can't play Africa like you do Europe, America, and Asia. You didn't develop Africa, morons. It's undeveloped. So it's going to be fucked. It's not going to come out the way you want it. It's just not. It doesn't have the capacity because you never developed it on purpose. So that's your black swan right there. Go ahead, Joby.
He really knows what's going on anymore. But the unnerving reality is that it doesn't actually matter whether the war ends next week or not, because beyond all of this noise, there is a much bigger crisis already in motion. This is a 100-foot tsunami, and it's headed straight for the global economy, and it's set to hit Australia and the rest of the world in just 10 days. And I'm not saying this to be overly dramatic. This is one of the biggest banks in the world, JP Morgan, who is saying this, who is projecting this. And they've proven this through one simple map that explains exactly what that tsunami looks like and what happens when we run out of oil reserves while the Strait of Hormuz stays shut. Hey guys, it's Scott here. Now, if you look around right now, things still seem okay. The buses are running, flights are still in the air, traffic is moving, and industries are operating. Yes, there are some disruptions, but the system hasn't fully stopped. And that's exactly the problem. What JP Morgan is saying is that what you're seeing right now is not the real crisis, it's an illusion. Let me explain it simply. Imagine you've seen a massive explosion in the distance, you've seen the flash, but the shock wave hasn't reached you yet. You are yet to feel the impact of it. That is what's happening right now. The shock wave from the Middle East war is actually yet to really hit us. And once it does, there's going to be no stopping it. That's how serious this situation actually is. We're talking about industries slowing down, supply chains breaking, and parts of the global economy coming to a standstill. And when we talk global economy, Australia is not immune to what happens in the rest of the world. Now, what you're seeing right now, planes flying, transport running, businesses operating, that might not be the reality 10 days from now in different parts of the world and possibly here at home in some sectors. That's exactly why I had to make this video, because I feel like no one truly understands this. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what JP Morgan is seeing, what this tsunami actually is, how it's going to hit the global and the Australian economy, and most importantly, what it means for you, your money, and the people that you care about. Before I get into it, you know that I cover economy, policy, and property every single day, so you can stay ahead of what's happening, so you can make those right strategic decisions. So make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss a video. All right, let's get into it. When people hear the phrase oil supply cut off, they imagine instant collapse. They imagine the lights going out, petrol stations drying up, and the whole system seizing up overnight. But that is not how this works. To understand this properly, you need to look at this JP Morgan map. Take a look at it now. These red lines show oil coming out of the Persian Gulf and moving to the rest of the world. Before the war began, that oil that you see on those red lines was flowing normally. It was leaving the Middle East and moving through the global shipping system exactly the way it always does. Then the war starts and the Strait of Hormuz gets disrupted. Now, common sense would tell you that if the tap gets turned off, everyone should feel it immediately. But the problem is, oil does not move instantly. These oil tankers are unbelievably slow. They carry millions of barrels, but they move at the speed of a bicycle. So even after the tap is turned off, there is still a huge amount of oil already sitting at sea, still making its way through the global system. And that is exactly what this map shows. If you follow the red lines, you can see that in February, the oil that had already left the Gulf was still moving towards Asia and Europe. It was still on the ocean. Then later, that same oil was still traveling deeper into the system and finally reaching places like the United States, for example. Now, after that, some of those flows go into refineries in places like South Korea. And from there, refined fuel keeps moving further down into places like Australia and New Zealand. So what does that mean? It means that the oil people are consuming right now in a lot of countries is not post-war oil supply. It is pre-war supply that is only now arriving. And even if the Strait of Hormuz opens tomorrow, it will take that oil 4 to 5 weeks to reach its destination. That is why the map is so powerful, because it tells you exactly why things still look weirdly normal. Look at the delivery stop dates shown on it. Africa starts getting hit first around March 20 to April 1. Asia starts losing most delivery.
Because Africa didn't build shit. That's on purpose. Africa didn't build shit. So Africa's always going to be at risk. You think these morons, just being in Africa, you say, well, damn, I don't want to be at risk. They don't care. They put the most wickedest motherfuckers in office the white man has. Africa's always the most vulnerable because it didn't build shit. Go ahead, Joker.
Around April 1. Europe is around April 10. The United States is around April 15. Australia and New Zealand are even later, around April 20. That means this crisis does not hit the whole world at one time. It moves in stages. It rolls through the global supply chain with a lag. That's why you're seeing different news headlines in different countries with different impacts. And you're correlating that with what's happening in Australia, and it's not all lining up. That's exactly why that is happening. Now, once you understand this delay, the next question becomes obvious. Oil collapse is only days away from hitting us. Why aren't governments all around the world panicking? That is because we are in an artificial calm right now, a calm before a possibly big storm. There are three major buffers holding the system together, by design, by the way, and all three of them are only temporary. The first is exactly what we just discussed, which is pre-war shipments still arriving into the global markets and keeping supply artificially stable. The second buffer is the financial market itself. Oil prices that you see on the screen are not purely reflecting current supply and demand. They are heavily influenced by forward expectations. Even the recent ceasefire announcement briefly pushed prices down, not because supply returned all of a sudden, but because the market priced in hope that supply might return.
Market manipulation.
Third is emergency reserves. This is key. Now, the international energy.
So most poor countries like Africa don't have any reserves. America has reserves. Remember, Biden has sold most of those reserves to Ukraine for that fucking war. So our reserves are under what they're supposed to be. But most of the countries, the poor countries, they don't have no reserves. So this doesn't apply to them. They haven't reserved anything. Go ahead, Joby.
The agency coordinated one of the largest releases of strategic oil reserves in history, dumping hundreds of millions of barrels onto the market to stabilize supply. On top of that, certain sanctions have been.
They only got 30 days of reserves. So after 30 days, they're all fucked up.
Loosened in practical terms, allowing additional barrels from places like Russia to keep flowing, particularly into Asian markets. But these are only one-off interventions. You cannot keep releasing reserves forever, and you cannot keep bending geopolitical rules every time the market tightens. So this artificial calm that we have been living in is bound to come crashing to an end, just as those last shipments of Middle Eastern oil dry up. And right now, that crunch point is expected to hit within the next 1 to 2 weeks as those final pre-war shipments run out. So when that oil shock hits, it is going to hit us all at.
You can't manipulate the market when you have no damn product. You can always manipulate the stock market when there's still product in the system. But when there's no product there, manipulation doesn't work anymore because there's nothing there. There's no oil. Shit, you can't make a fake illusion no more. Can't manipulate markets when there's no product in the pipeline, right? Then, if Iran blows up all this shit, it never comes again. It's over. It's a wrap. It's over. It's all this crazy shit. Donald Trump, I'm going to blow up this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Iran said, go ahead, motherfucker. Go ahead and do it. We'll plunge the whole world in the darkness. Go ahead and do it. See, this is the limitations of white people's power now. Hitting them in the face. Go ahead and do it. Do it. But I believe they want to do it. I believe this is the reset they're talking about 2030. Because, like I said, it doesn't make sense to even do this. Because they knew Iran had the power to disrupt the whole world's economy. And they already knew that Iran had the power to destroy Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, the UAE. They already knew this. So why would you do it? And you knew the consequences of you doing it would put the whole world into a Great Depression. So why would you do it if this wasn't the purpose of you doing it? Go ahead, Joby.
Once. Now, this is where things start to become much more serious. If the current oil system is missing roughly 11 to 13 million barrels per day,
it is scary, Jibba Jab. This is some scary shit. And you got motherfuckers, you got black people In there talking about whether I'm a fucking Indian, whether I'm an FBA. You're not distracted by this goopy moron Tariq Nasheed. You don't know what the fuck is even about to happen. You got black people talking about, they still going about that swirling shit. I don't give a fuck who you swirl. I don't care if you got a white man's dick in you. Go be my guest. We got bigger fish to fry. Okay? The white guy was already using that girl, had other women. He was broke and he was all kind of crazy shit. Anyway, who cares? This would be your number one interest right now. This right here. So you got black people in America talking about stupid shit because they're all morons now. You don't get prepared for this, you're going to be wiped away. This is coming because you got this moron. Why nobody stopping Trump? They supposed to have been got rid of his ass, right? They supposed to have been got rid of him. You got a headache, Joby?
No, I'm okay.
Oh, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Translates to around 330 million barrels per month that simply do not exist in the system anymore.
Exactly.
And every additional week adds.
You can't manipulate what does not exist. Exactly. You can't do market manipulation with the stock when you don't got it. It doesn't exist. It's not in the funnel. You can't manipulate ghost. Go ahead, Joe.
To that deficit. Now, at the same time, refineries are still operating, but not because supply is normal. They are operating because they are burning through the feedstock that they already had stored. Once that runs out, refinery output will drop sharply. And then you run into another problem, which is insurance and financing. As geopolitical risks increase, insurers either increase insurance premiums significantly or they pull back coverage entirely. And if tankers cannot get insured, they do not sail, which means even available oil cannot move efficiently through the system. Now, on top of that, replacement supply is not instant. You cannot simply switch on 12 million barrels per day somewhere else overnight. There are political factors, such as existing suppliers keeping supply tight to maintain elevated oil prices and maximize profits, along with infrastructure constraints and tanker availability issues, all of which slow down any attempt to replace lost supply. Now, some of you might say, Scott, all of this will happen if the war continues, but what if the war stops tomorrow? Everything will be back to normal, right? The answer is no, because the damage does not disappear when the headlines do. Countries have already drained reserves and they will need to refill them. Refineries will need to rebuild inventories. Governments will want to rebuild strategic stockpiles. Tankers will be in the wrong part of the world. Ports and supply chains will need to be rebalanced. Now, on top of that, there is physical damage to infrastructure. Energy infrastructure in parts of the Gulf region has already been impacted, and even partial damage to facilities can take months or many, many years to fully repair. Even in the best case scenario, where the Strait of Hormuz reopens, production and export flows can take 1 to 2 months to get things back to normal. And some infrastructure damage could take years to fully recover. So what you end up with is what I'm going to call an aftershock period. The war might be over on paper, but the market still behaves as if there is a shortage. Now, when people think about an oil crisis, they usually think about higher prices at the pump. But the real impact is much broader than that, because when energy becomes scarce or too expensive, parts of the economy stop functioning at the same level. Flights become fewer and more expensive. We're already seeing this right now. Shipping costs rise, which makes imports more expensive. Factories begin to slow down or shut because energy is a core input into production. In the tech sector, semiconductor production gets squeezed not just by electricity constraints, but also by shortages in inputs like helium, which is tied to natural gas production. Fertilizer supply tightens, which directly impacts agriculture and pushes food prices higher. Construction becomes more expensive, which slows down new supply and puts pressure on housing markets. Now, all of this feeds into inflation. And more importantly, it also reduces the amount of overall economic activity. So the real crisis is the fact that less of the economy can function at the same level. The aftershock effects will be felt for many, many months to come, maybe years. Now, as serious as all of this sounds, this is still not the worst case scenario. If the US were to target key infrastructure like Cargo Island, you could see additional Iranian supply disappear from the market almost immediately. If Iran retaliates more aggressively against regional energy infrastructure, you could see more permanent damage across the Gulf.
Exactly.
If other 3 points become constrained,
if they
including
blow up everybody's shit, that's a wrap. It's a wrap. And setting up is going to hurt Africa. Most of Africa didn't build shit. They're going to have to hurry up and start building refineries This might be good because it would just force Africa to grow up too. Just force it to. Got no choice. Puppets all have to be. Our puppets gonna be murdered. They got to be scared as hell. Let's don't stop. That's what's gonna happen now. You're talking about instant revolution all over the world because you're gonna be in the dark, starving, angry. Shit. Go ahead, Joe.
Routes outside the Strait of Hormuz, then alternative supply lines become weaker as well. And even in less extreme scenarios, if tankers are forced to take longer routes around conflict zones, you effectively lock up supply on the water for extended periods, which reduces the amount of usable oil available at any one point in time. Now, at this point, the issue becomes whether that oil can be delivered where it is needed, when it is needed.
यदि तपाईँ अस्ट्रेलियामा हुनुहुन्छ या तपाईँले चिनेको कोही अस्ट्रेलियामा छ.
Yeah, so those are updates on Australia, and not just Australia, but what is going to happen globally if this war continues. We have more updates on Iran confirming that Trump is actually lying also about the seizure of...
About everything.
Yeah, lying about everything. Yeah, he's lying.
We have now a line coming from Meher News Agency on your first question on the ship. So let me just read it immediately from the channel.
Please.
Response of the IRGC Navy to the shooting by U.S. forces at an Iranian commercial ship. The swift reaction of the IRGC Navy following the shooting by U.S. terrorist forces at an Iranian commercial ship near the Sea of Oman caused the Americans to retreat and flee. According to information received by Meher reporter today in response to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and the return of Indian and British commercial ships, as well as the control measures by the Islamic Revolutionary Guards, the U.S. terrorist forces stationed in the waters around the Sea of Oman fired at an Iranian commercial ship to force it to return towards Iranian territorial waters. With the timely presence and quick reaction of the IRGC Navy units in support of the Iranian ship, the Americans were compelled to retreat and leave the area. So what they are saying here is that the ship hasn't been confiscated. Now,
all right, so I guess at this point we just need video proof. If America says they've confiscated the ship, show us a video of you with the Iranian ship. Iran, if you claim it's okay, I guess onus is on America to prove it since they're the one that made the claim. But there you are. Iran now claims the U.S. never seized their ships and they forced the U.S. Navy to retreat. Meanwhile, yesterday Trump said they've seized the ship and they released the footage of them firing on an Iranian ship, but there is no footage of them seizing the Iranian ship. The reason I say I believe the Iranians more is because when the United States government seized a bunch of Venezuelan ships, they showed us the footage of the military jumping on the ship.
The problem with this blockade got fake because Iran can blow all these ships out the water. They're in distance of Iranian missiles. So as soon as this war starts again, all them ships that America has sitting out there to blockade them, they're going to blow them out the water. They're going to destroy all of them. So all the sailors on there are going to die, right? Because a blockade has to be so far from the coast, from a person's coast to work. So my missiles have enough distance capability to blow you out the water. So as soon as America starts and Israel starts flying missiles into Iran, all the ships, I'm blowing up all of them, right? I'm blowing up all of them. So, sad fact, this country's so corrupt. It's so fucked up now. They're not even sending food to those people on those ships, the Navy. All that shit, you always like that garbage. All the money's been stolen to the cats with the hats and these military industrial complex that he wants to add $500 billion, but just steal it, right? You got the goofy Elon Musk, all these now tech bros are now part of what the military industrial complex to get money for doing nothing and make fucked up fake weapons. Ain't it funny? So you got money for health care, money for good roads, money for schools, money for the people. It's got to go to keep perpetuating all these fake ass military weaponry, right? All the money's got to go there to these companies that they own. See the scam? But they made you white people in America too scared because you done so much killing, thieving, and robbing. They come out with all these fake commercials. Oh, we must protect the government, must protect America. Tell me, Who's invaded fucking America in the last 100 years? Who's went to war against America? Nobody. Always America going to somebody else's country, stealing their shit, bombing them, overthrowing them with the CIA and a goopy Mossad. So how the hell is America under attack? It's not. But you'll be told this in your propaganda. Remember, they control all the media. They should about all the media. And you'll get all these goopy commercials during election season. You can't be soft on the military. The military needs more bombs, more weapons. Yeah. And so now that's why you can't afford no house no more. Okay? Why are you living in your cars? Why is an epidemic of people sleeping in cars scared about police don't knock on your goddamn window? Hey, get your ass up. You can't sleep here. Why they making all your money's going now to military bullshit for fake wars. What they're doing, they're bankrupting the country. They get you this goopy war. They got all your money going to the military. These are cats finally bankrupting the country. Right? But go ahead, Joby.
Donald Trump is panicking on Sunday as his own top military generals are trying to keep him sidelined to stop escalating this war. The Jerusalem Post reported this morning that when the military did that extraction mission of those two F-15E pilots who were downed over Iran, they refused to allow Donald Trump.
Now this guy's been stroking your feet like this is a democracy controlled by the same. It's not real, motherfuckers. This is what you call kabuki theory. They play the right against the left. So he's supposed to be the Democratic shield. Talking about the Republicans. Then you have the Republicans talking about the Democrats. They're controlled by the same people. These two fucking fake opposition parties controlled by the same fucking people. So this moron here, he's controlled opposition. Have you other Republican, this Republican, and the Democrats good, Democrat this. This is what's called controlled opposition. Go ahead, Joby.
In the Situation Room because Donald Trump's behavior was so erratic and so impulsive that they thought it would result in our troops getting killed. We're seeing that this morning as well as Donald Trump is once again threatening to blow up Iranian bridges and infrastructure and other civilian areas.
He's not against the war. Just the Democrats should be doing it. They can handle it, but there's no good bad. He's not against the war. Don't ever get this twisted when you're looking at these motherfuckers. He's not against the war, killing babies. He's not against none of that shit. He's just gonna give your mind white members the right-left divide. It's Hegelian dialectic, right-left divide. He just want to tell you, Democrats should be doing their better than the Republicans. Get you fighting amongst each other and not realize who's actually the fucking real power. Go ahead, what's this? Go ahead.
Now being reported that Iran has rejected a second round of peace talks with the United States as U.S. Marines have seized an Iranian cargo ship that tried to cross the U.S. blockade. According to Reuters' chief national security correspondent, Tehran State News Agency, IRNA, just announced the refusal hours after Donald Trump indicated he was sending envoys to Pakistan for further talks. Trump also announced that U.S. Marines have now seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship in the Gulf of Oman, saying we have full custody of the ship, and they're now seizing.
Like the other black guys said, they never showed it. Iran said it's a lie. So why haven't they showed it? White people always want to brag. Look at what we did to these motherfuckers. They stole their shit with pirates. They like stealing shit and showing it. Why haven't they shown it? If you stole it, why haven't you shown it? Right? They show everything. So why haven't you shown it if you stole it? So once again, I'm with him. I don't believe they stole shit. I don't believe they got it. So they show us the amount of lying in this shit is crazy. Go ahead.
On board. Iran is now threatening to bring the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, where 12% of all global trade passes through, as well as 3 other entities that are central to the global oil supply, into the circle of fire, and has prepared for hours of hell for the enemy. Iran also says U.S. military movements indicate either psychological pressure or preparation for a surprise and rapid military attack. And you may wonder, what is Donald Trump doing in response to this? Well, he's actually playing golf, and he called a lid at 3 p.m. today, meaning he's not taking any questions or making any more public appearances for the rest of the day.
Donald Trump is crying this morning that Iran is not playing fair as he once again threatens to commit war crimes. Now, as you know, things have not been going well for Donald Trump in Iran. on multiple occasions. He has said that Iran is begging to make a deal, that a deal is done, that Iran has agreed to everything and that the war is over. And every time he says that, Iran shows that none of that is true. Well, Donald Trump got up this morning and decided to whine about it, saying that Iran is not playing fair, that they're not being nice, that they're trying to be Mr. Tough Guy, and they need to take a deal.
This is how crazy, but everybody believes in this white fucking fucked up psychopathic mind. You come bomb me, kill my babies, and I'm not playing fair because I won't give you the rest of my butthole to fuck. Right? I mean, we're white people. Why are you not giving me the rest of your butthole to fuck? What are you doing? Your butthole belongs to me. You don't got the right to defend yourself. What are you talking about? You're playing unfair. I know I killed your babies and your children, blown them shit. So what? That's what white people do. We're able to do that and still have power. What are you doing? Now I do believe he believes that in his fucking twisted ass, psychopathic, pedophilic ass mind. Go ahead.
Deal, and then threatened his war crimes again, saying if they don't take the deal, the United States is going to knock out every power plant and every bridge in Iran. Donald Trump is getting desperate. He has tried multiple times to bully his way through this, and Iran isn't biting. They know who they're dealing with. They can play Donald Trump's game. They played the same game he does. They lie about what's happening, and they try to bully their way through with all these massive threats. And now Donald Trump is finding himself in a situation.
I told you about white people. Everything he said, Iran. When did Iran bully anybody? When Iran was lying about everything Iran says is proven to be true. See, as a white man, he still got to do. I'm against Donald Trump, but these other people, they're lying. They're not still falling their ass. They're not opening up their asshole to us. I'm still white. See, understand about this psychopath here too. So it's not about what's right and wrong for them. It's about justice doesn't matter, right? Only matters that they win. It just matters the way Donald Trump is handling this. So they're not mad about the death and destruction. But go ahead.
Yeah, let me share this, then go through the comments.
Starting in December, all men between the ages of 18 and 25 will be automatically registered for the military draft. They'll be added into the Selective Service System. That's the independent government agency that keeps a list of all eligible Americans. For decades, the majority of men would register themselves or face a felony. Congress tucked the rule change into a bipartisan defense bill that President Trump signed into law late last year. It comes as enrollment has slipped in recent years, even as worries about conflicts with nations like China and Russia have grown. There has not been a military draft since the Vietnam War.
Vietnam.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News.
Young American men could be automatically registered for eligibility for the military draft as soon as December, ending decades of self-registration. Why? To save money, according to a government agency. Currently, most men in the U.S. between the ages of 18 and 25 are already required to register for the draft. But this new rule would see men being registered automatically within 30 days of their 18th birthday instead of registering themselves. Proponents of the plan say that this will save the government millions of dollars that are spent every year reminding men to register, and allowing them to use that money towards readiness and mobilization rather than towards education and advertising campaigns, according to Pennsylvania Democratic Representative Chrissy Houlihan. Now, the rule is still being reviewed and must be approved before implementation. However, it has prompted fears of mandatory U.S. conscription in the event of a crisis. A wartime draft will be implemented.
You know why this won't work? This won't work unless you get the rich to go fight for the shit, because America blow up. Ain't nobody gonna be fighting for no fucking Israel and a bunch of pedophiles. Fuck you, tell you. That's sure getting my babies. But shout out, my kids are probably almost too old now. You know, actually they're not. Well, they're drafting people like 52 years old and 45. This motherfucker 45 years old talking about, I got this letter from the government saying that saying I gotta go to some draft. Like what?
Yeah.
How they talking about? I'm too old. Go ahead, let's go read.
Welcome to the American dream, I guess. But as we go through the comments.
That's right.
Jiba Jaba Karibu, Sister Monique. I see Jibalia was saying the cats want to create a peanut butter society where they are only set aside and distinct.
Exactly. They want to mix everybody up where they're only the distinct. That's the scam. Exactly right. Exactly right. They want to mix everybody's blood together, and they only want to set aside as distinct and pure. Exactly right, Jibba Jabba. Go ahead, Jibba.
He also says the Lyme disease tick was created by the U.S.
Created
government.
yep, anything the Lyme. You guys remember called Lyme disease was a tick. I was worried about that shit when I was a young teenager. Lyme, I used to be scared to go walk through grass. I used to push my pants up and shit. I don't want to get bit by no tick. Have Lyme disease. Remember they going, motherfucker made you go crazy. You wasn't there. Let me find out that any funny, the American government made that disease, the Lyme disease is made up in the government. Made up in the lab. Most of the disease they've got today, AIDS, Lyme, all created by them. Some wicked shit. Wicked. But of course, nothing happens to them. They get to pretend like it's a real disease. Came from nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
Says Dr. Pepper is a tick repellent. I know, that's
I
right.
know. It helps the ticks, niggas.
Aaron James Karibusana says, what does Keith think about Dangote Refinery and the IMF World Bank saying there should be more competition in Nigeria? I think he's given his reviews about it already. Jiba says officials are saying over $4 a gallon. I think that's what you mean.
Yeah. That means gallon. Yeah, $4 gallon gas to 2020. Oh yeah, definitely. That higher than that though, kid. That's the bottom. That's as low. That's high as shit. That's the bottom. It's gonna go higher than that. Cause a friend of mine was just in my home state of California, right? And well, Jason, he said gas already in California between $6 and $7 out there. I'm like, how the fuck do you live in California, man? I seen another video on TikTok talking about everybody leaving California. So you're right about that, Jason. You said it. Everybody's getting the hell out of California. I don't know how you survive. I've been packed my bags. I packed my bags almost 30 years ago. Get the fuck out this damn state. Go ahead, Joey.
Jason Karibu says exactly. I agree. No food, no flights in Africa that will make folks go crazy. I think black folks globally need a rude awakening. I do agree with that. Jiba says grocery shoplifting is growing in the US. I bet. Joe Mosquito Karibu Sana, hope you're doing amazing. Jiba says, goofy question, is this a way to make the 39 trillion debt to be irrelevant because all the creditors will be bankrupt too?
That's true too. Remember that? You know, we say, who does America owe money to? The $39 trillion. We know most of it's to the cats with the hats, the banks, right? Federal Reserve System. The other ones are to countries, like some to China, some to Japan, and some other countries. But the majority, we owe it to the cats with the hats. We owe it back to the reserve system, back to the banks. So most of America, they would say America owns it to itself. America don't own those banks like the J.P. Morgan and all these other banks are owned by the cats with their hats. I'm saying America owns most of its own debt. No, we don't. We don't own them banks. Private sector don't own them fucking Jewish banks. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Jiba says, I've noticed Dawn, my landscape routes traffic is down. People aren't making as many unnecessary
trips. Yeah, I noticed that too, that the traffic is not as bad. You're like, man, can't be paying fuel up no car. Shit. You know, we got the women. Hey, I'm going out to the mall. The hell you are. You better get that bicycle out there and ride your ass to the mall.
Jiba, I'm going to find the clip and share it with you.
That's right, Joby. You ain't getting no car driving no more. You better ride a bike.
All right. I'll have the clip with you after I'm done, Jiba Jaba. And also see you saying, so the day after this started, after this started, gas jumped 30 cents, but the fuel wasn't 3 weeks off and not in the system to be sold or refined.
Yeah, they were already exactly right. They're already price gouging, Jibbit. Exactly right. They're already price gouging because it's criminal, right? They already price. Did you see that? Now, most of the people are banning that goofy World Cup from coming to America, right? That goofy soccer. They got people supposed to be flying. They're gonna be forced to fly here. Like America, we don't care about soccer. Like the rest of the world, football, soccer. America, we don't. We do this with soccer. Come on. What's on? What? Who playing? What's the name? Arsenic? Somebody United? We don't know that goofy shit. We don't know none of that goofy shit. Right? In America. Keep it real. We don't know. Joey can name all the football teams, and we wouldn't know the hell she's talking about, right? That's just honest, right? So that World Cup's supposed to be here, but America is so greedy. Remember, I know them just the ones that they're gonna be doing from New York into New Jersey. They're talking about charging people all this money to get on the damn subway from New York to New Jersey to the stadium, right? They charge these motherfuckers $100 to get there and $100 to get back. It's like 10 miles. Are you crazy? And all the other countries did it. It was free. Their transportation is free. America's so corrupt, so greedy, so fucked up. They're trying to charge all these people all this money to go look at that goofy soccer, right? I don't think the soccer is going to be I don't think they're going. I don't see it happen. Joby, put us up real quick. Ask him. Say when is the World Cup supposed to start in America? Was it like June, July? I think it's like next month, right? It's supposed to be like in New Jersey, Miami, DC, LA, or San Diego. It's supposed to be all over the country with this goofy shit. That's going to have to be foreigners come in because the American public doesn't support it. It's going to make billions off the people that got to fly in here. Who's going to be able to afford to fly up in here? June, thanks, June.
June 11.
Who's going to be able to afford to fly? Because Americans don't watch soccer. We don't watch that goofy shit. So it's got to be foreigners flying in here. And who wants to fly in here? You got ICE talking about knocking. You're a foreigner. You got ICE talking about knocking somebody. You're a foreigner. Knock inside your damn head. I'm coming to see the game. I'm coming to see the soccer game. I'm not a foreigner. I'm coming to see the game. Right? Who wants to come under conditions like this? What Trump has done to the country? I'm not paying all that money, and fuel is hike. It's gonna cost you 3 times the ticket money to fly there now too. To go see some soccer. But see, the rest of the world, you guys are crazy like Joby and you. Y'all crazy for that World Cup. So some people are gonna fly up in here. And rest of America will be just like this. Say, man, you know the World Cup going on? I'm like, what's that? The World Cup, man, it's going on. It's in New York, it's down in Miami. They got them playing over here in Chicago, down over in LA. Man, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. The World Cup. I don't know about a cup of coffee, nigga? No, the World Cup.
And I also see John Moscow says nothing is going back to normal. Jason says all of them narratives will stop when everything gets real. Jiba Jaba says businesses will slow down.
And in my business, a lot of people be fired. It's always starting now. It's scary. So that's the scary part where I'll be able to survive. Hoping I can survive. If I can survive another year, I'm good. I have everything set up and happen. If I can survive, because this is some scary shit. This could cause everybody to go under. You know, internet gone, everything gone, because you can't afford it. Go ahead, Jim.
Jib also says, and if you are black and do not have a gum dispenser and you know how to use it, you are a fool.
Exactly. You got that right. You don't have a gum dispenser. You know what that means. You better have a bunch of bubble gum getting ready to go.
He also says if it did happen, Trump would be making a huge deal of it, showing the boarding. Of course, he would.
Exactly.
I really think now it's something way bigger, which is going to happen while they keep everyone distracted with this war narrative because nothing makes sense. And Jiba says Bush said they hate us because they can't be us. I think that's a quote you quoted. Also says, right, I caught on Joby's white boy. I don't know what you're talking about. Jason says all these advanced technologies they say they have, white isn't of it being used?
Exactly. Remember they got this high technology, exactly. They claim about this high tech. They got this high tech they can go into Iran and just take it over. All this ghost technology they got. Why haven't they ever done it? Exactly. They should be able to easily put down Iran with all this high military tech they got.
You say you'd rather watch grass grow than soccer? That is such a big.
That's the truth. Ain't that real? Ain't nobody in America talking about no damn soccer. I mean, you like, I remember because I was going to bring Demore. I was going to bring Demore here. Let him watch the shit. I go, but this war changed everything, right? Because in Azerbaijan, he can get visas to America easily than coming from Kenya. So I was going to bring Demore, but the ice and everything had changed. The fuel prices. I said, oh, this shit costs too much than yet. When you ask here Demore and shit. So, but right. Man, soccer is so boring. I'm not even looking at that shit. Motherfucker, 1-2 score in the whole game. Like, what's more boring, guys? You remember growing up? Baseball? Because you look at baseball, and that's an American game. Boring as hell. What's more boring, guys? Baseball or soccer? Let me see your comments in the what we got 6 more minutes. Let me get your comments. What's more boring, you guys? Baseball? I can't watch baseball too. Baseball, I'll be like, what? Huh? Whenever I looked at, I remember I was looking at baseball one time. My wife, the playoffs. I gotta look at the. I was sleeping like shit, and my wife came and get him out. I'm like, hey, what? You coming to bed or what? I'm like, damn, you fucking you shit, bro. God damn it. Let me sleep on the damn chair. God damn it. Women always fucking with you. You coming to bed or what? If I don't make it tonight, I won't make it. Shit, sleep.
No, hell no. Shit.
What's that, Joey? I don't know what.
Why are you sleeping on the couch? The hell? Go sleep outside then.
Sleep outside. I was on the chair. I had the chair, chair pops up, the recliner chair, and the seat up. I was looking at baseball. I was so bored, I fell asleep. He said, soccer's much boring. Soccer's much boring. Yeah, soccer's more boring than baseball. Oh, man, that's soccer, man. And I played soccer as a kid in California. I played, what was that league called? I can't remember the league. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's fun to play, but it's boring to watch. God damn, it's like the shit boring. And people like, oh, yeah, Africa and Europe, yeah, be hollering like, and I've been this. God damn it. I'm like, wake me up when this shit over. Joe and be like, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I was watching another one yesterday. We lost, man, but it's okay.
You lost? Who was your team?
Arsenal, all the way, anytime, any.
Arsenal, where they from? England?
I don't know.
You don't even know. Where's Arsenal from? Jim Mosquito. We got a whole baseball pitch in North London. I would play it, but I would never watch it. Zach, you said you play it. That's why I'm with soccer. I play soccer, but I'd never watch it. So you guys go. I know you guys got baseball and I know you guys got cricket. Cricket is like baseball, even more boring. Even cricket. I think the Negroes in Africa play that cricket shit too. That cricket is even more boring than baseball. But it's almost like the same thing, but I can't play that shit. That's soccer, man. God, look how they be boring as hell. How they looking at this shit.
It's the best. It's the best. It's the best. You just need a good group of people to be watching it with. No boring people. No.
The game is boring. So
if you have boring people, everything is boring around you. That's just the fact too.
I just gonna watch the joke. Oh, they're doing kicking the ball up and down the field. Like,
it's the game. How they play the game. That's the. It's not even about scoring. How they play the game.
Ain't about scoring. Oh my God, that's right. My boy just brought up down the field in them goofy shorts. I'm like, we ain't gonna do something. Got the goofy shorts on.
Something, lol.
What they gonna do? They gonna make a play? What's going on in this goofy shit? I've never made it to a complete soccer game. Never. So okay, let me check this out. Let me see what they talking about. I get like the first 15 minutes. I'm like this. Now, soccer is great. If you guys got insomnia, go look at some soccer. You'll fall asleep on that shit. If you got a problem trying to get to sleep,
Wow.
Put on some soccer. Yes, but just like this. Don't be married and your wife like you come to bed, not knowing. You coming to bed? What? What's wrong with you, man? What's going on?
That's
You come
hate.
into bed or what?
That's
Oh
hate
man,
big
take me out
time.
the soccer game.
That's hate big time. But much love, family. We're gonna be wrapping it up there. I don't know what's all
I,
your
I don't know what rounders, cricket and rounders. What the fuck is? Maybe Joby knows. Joby talking about it. What the hell is rounders? I don't know what the hell that is.
I don't know.
And Joby don't know. I don't know what rounders. I know what cricket is. The cricket doesn't make sense. These British and Indians love that shit. I don't know what that cricket shit is. I can't watch. I don't know what it is.
We don't play cricket, Saja. We don't play.
Yeah, I played cricket. I see y'all playing that shit in Kenya. Maybe not.
We don't play.
Maybe not as popular as soccer. Y'all play shit. If the field was half, it would be fast to play. Too much running. I don't know what they do in cricket, Jim Mosquito. I mean, I'm not Jim, but Jim Jack.
Oh,
I don't know.
rounders, yeah. I know rounders drum mosquito. Yeah, that was awesome.
I told you Joby knew that shit.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was
See?
a fun game.
See?
Shit.
You know, see?
Awesome.
Y'all would call that boring shit awesome. See?
Rounders is awesome. I can't do cricket now.
We got a lot of Americans buying whole soccer clubs over here. Even Michael B. Jordan just bought a club recently. Okay, I didn't think he had enough money. You got a soccer team costs a lot of money. Must about a partnership. You got soccer teams are just as much as our football teams now. Anyway, but you got soccer so racist. People throwing bananas on the field. Call you dirty niggas out loud. Shit crazy.
You don't listen to that. You keep running. You know.
You dirty niggas. Well, it's just
love,
like, okay, I'm looking up just like this. Much love, family. Joe, get out of here. I'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, have a good day. See you guys tomorrow. Be safe.
You get my ass to Louisiana.
Peace and we out.
Peace, family. Hit that cat.